Okay, so I got to redo this because as I was recording, my phone stopped again. Anyways, Motorola, stop doing that. Now, like I said, I was just in the Family Fun Arcade, okay? I just turned the corner, I did a once around, like, oh, got old game, new game. I went through, I told the guy, right? His name is Moses, the guy who runs this thing. Moses, man, biblical, no? So Moses, he's like, let me in. He's like, go ahead, look around. I said, dude, this is awesome. Dude, Chuck E. Cheese is the only other place that does this. And I told him about Chuck E. Cheese, the other one that I went to, you know, in Eagle Rock. And I told him, dude, they pay for the hour and stuff like that, you know, but then you have to buy for food, you know? It's like, yeah, but, you know, but we talked about it. Anyways, he let me in, so I was looking at Street Fighter, I was looking at the pinball machines and the skee ball, everything in the back is great. You know what I mean? And I came back this corner, there's a father with two little boys playing Street Fighter 4. I was like, dude, Street Fighter, are you playing Vega? You're you? Awesome. Fireball, uppercut, like, and then I walked away. Father's like laughing, like, ah, yeah. Anyways. And then I turned the corner, and then those guys are right there. The guys. They're like, can you punch this for us? I'm like, okay, I'll punch it for you, but why? So I just barely, you know? I barely punched it, dude. So God, does that remind you of Dragon Ball? You remember in the tournament when like everyone lines up, they got that punching game? And then kidding, and everyone's like, ding! That's what I did, Sungan. And they are witness to that. They're like, what the anyways. And they're like, no, hit it for real. I'm like, for real? I can't hit it for real. And then I just, I jabbed it, and it got to like 9 something. I was like, what the fuck? These kids like, look at it. Dun, 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 dun. It was like 9:30 something. I was like, what the fuck? I barely touched that thing. They're like, punch it for real then. I'm like, I can't, guys. I was like, you guys, it's your game. You guys do it. And I left. Right here. I mean, I'm creative. It's awesome, man. Over here. I mean, yesterday, I challenged those guys to push-ups or for anything. Like, who wants to challenge Master? You know, in Santa Monica. I'm like, dude, who wants to challenge me? I'll do anything. You want a dance battle? Which one? Nobody would challenge me. What, music? Nothing, right? Even the push-ups. Those, like, stud versus stud one. Like, Like, guys, if you guys can't do 200 push-ups, then come on, don't challenge me. He's like, come on, who wants to challenge this stud right here? I'm like, and I walked up to him. I said, yeah, I'll do it. What you want? How many can you do? He wouldn't look at me. And then the other guy came, and I said, okay, fine, I'll record you. All right, stud versus stud. And then that's the recording. So remind you, this is the same, I just got back. I went to the market, I bought some kimchi, because I'm gonna make kimchi when I get home. And then the nice Korean officer who taught me a lesson, while being so sarcastic to me, rude to me, not answering a single question of mine, going through my car, doing all that naughty, even though I told you and explained everything out to you. When 3 of the 4 officers have their head down in shame and feeling really bad for what you guys are doing to me, except you, Korean officer. I understand. Remember I talked to you in Korean too. I said, 저도 한국 보니까 한국말 하도 괜찮습니다. And you try to teach me a lesson at the end because you could find nothing wrong. I'm sorry, officer, that you could find nothing wrong with what I was doing. That very toy 99-cent gun that I had to have in my car because I told you this. I'm lived of what my wife did to me. And when you said that, yeah, I know you're a restraining order next. When you tell me information like that, officer, and you're still being a dick to me, that's pretty bad. I'm sorry. Like I said, I know it's a tough job, but you don't have to be a dick to me about that, officer. That was a very dick move on your part, in my opinion. You didn't even say sorry to me. When the other officers did, they're like, when you come tell me to shut up, when I'm talking to them, explaining, I haven't moved a muscle. I was in the exact same position for an hour, staring at the wall when you guys had the cuffs on me hard again. I told you, guys, my wrist is hurting. And please hurry up because I've done this so many times. And then you keep doing all those things, officer. Remember, you gave me the card at the end. You said, and then I left. And I said, God loves you, Jesus loves you. But the pamphlets and all that stuff, like, remember when I was sharing all that, why were you getting angry, officer, sir? I didn't understand that. When you try to say, like, you and I are same age and shut up and, officer, and then you finally continue talking because you realized I wasn't speaking. and just looking at the forward palm trees, imagining my Tron music on that you turned off to find an excuse to search my vehicle, even though I told you not to. Even though I told you everything, I had just packed my car. That was what I was doing when somebody called the cops on me, because I was just listening to my Tron music, organizing my trunk. When someone wanted to call police on me for some reason, I have no idea why. And when I asked you officers, and every officer, when I pointed out to you, like, your attire, your holster, your name, your car, license plates, your badge numbers, officers, when I recite those things back to you in cuffs, not moving a muscle, and you guys come and grab my arm and saying, you must calm down, when I haven't even moved anything. The only thing I was moving was my mouth and my head. And you tell me to calm down when I'm just talking like this to the officer who says keep continuing to talk. And you tell me to shut up. And then I continued. I did. Didn't I comply to everything you said to me, sir? I think I did. And yet I still do not get an apology from you. Even though I asked you many, many questions, you tell me to shut up. And in the end, sir, right? I did nothing wrong, right? Like when I said, what is wrong with the Christian? Sharing Jesus is God, saying that I love the Lord, that I do ministry, I feed the homeless, that cops keep harassing me because people are scared of my voice because they are fearful. They are fearful of what? And no one can give me an answer. Not even you, officer, can give me an answer for anything. You just kept saying you talk too much, basically, to shut up. I'm sorry that my First Amendment, freedom of speech, religion, and press, I'm sorry that I keep trampling that, officer. I don't understand. Why do you keep telling me to shut up? When I did nothing wrong, and you could find nothing wrong. Your little investigation for an hour, when my cuff was on hurting, I kept thinking, hey, my cuff hurts. Like last time when the Tustin police did this and I had a fractured wrist for 3 days and they never checked. And then he finally released it. You understand? What it took for me to talk for an hour straight for them to finally undo my left cuff one notch so it would not go into my skin. Officer, and you heard me speaking the entire time and you come to me, tell me to shut up again. And I said, can I sing the song I wrote at church? That I know that all of my days should be lived for God, because Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. Like my song that I wrote at Burando, the same church I helped build, the same church I got kicked out of on Friday night Bible study by a pastor I don't know who threatened me. So I got mad at him and I scolded him out publicly, and everybody heard me, and all the elders did as well. I know they spread the word because they locked me out of my own church on Friday night Bible study. I was looking for a pastor to share my woes about my son Michael, only to be kicked out of church by a fearful pastor who I just met the week before, mind you, who didn't join us at KTP Plaza. Johan, yes? Anyways, we were like, where is this pastor? I want to get to know the new EM. The new EM I want to serve in again. Only to be kicked out of the church by that same very pastor on Friday night Bible study? When I have a master key to the church that I helped build, given to me by my previous pastor. And I've been there before the current Pastor Park. I was there when Pastor Don and Grandpa passed on the mantle to you. I have the master key to the church, as I was the praise leader and I helped build that damn sanctuary, the basketball course that we played in. Pastor Park. Why did that pastor kick me out of church? And why did the praise pastor tell me to shut up when I was praising God with them in the sanctuary on Sunday after worship? When I was singing with them in Korean and English, Pastor Park. Why did the other people nodding their heads? It's okay. Why did the guy on the saxophone? I don't know this pastor. The saxophone on the pew, pastor, who was upset for, I don't know, because a member of the church was singing with them at praise practice, even though I told them I was praise leader and I even announced myself. and they kicked me out of the sanctuary. So I got a little angry, Pastor Park. So I walked back up to him. I said, "Excuse me, 목사님. 저는 이 교회에서 이거 오랫동안 일을 했는데요. 일요일 날에 on Sunday, when a member of the church, an elder member such as myself, was wanting to look up at the stained glass windows of Jesus and the disciples because it gives me comfort. And I'm singing to God in the same sanctuary I grew up in, where I did taekwondo, martial arts demonstrations and all those things in front of the entire church congregation. With pictures in our red uniforms and our white uniforms. How many countless demonstrations did we do? Let me see. What about the the Korean parade, where we did the martial arts demonstrations walking in front of Berendo? Or the countless kimchi pyeongs my mom and I helped with the Saturday kimchi, you know, all the stuff we did. And I'm locked out of my own church, even though I can walk in anytime with a master key, which I don't, mind you. I don't do that. So I'm a little confused, Pastor Park. And Noah, when grandpa like came to my house with, when Pastor Don and Esther were at my house, we were doing praise practice and worship at our house. Noah, you were never there. Noah, you weren't even in church back then. I was always there, Noah. Johan is the only one left. Pastor Park, you and apparently Johan are the only ones left who remember any of this. And Johan even said, yes, this is Tae, and he confirmed it. But apparently nobody takes Johan seriously at church because they think he's a joke. They don't understand the wisdom of Johan, who remembers everything like me. Interestingly, when I recall all the stuff of the past, Johan's like, yeah. And if you think Johan is dumb, you guys are retarded, because he remembers everything like me. Noah does not, because he was not there. Pastor Joe, Pastor Sam, they were all there. DJ, everybody else was there. When all those countless, how many Bible study classes, praise worship, Friday night Bible study, Saturday praise worship practice, where I set up the entire gym by myself. This is my memories of Berendo, my church. I have ownership of, that I claim ownership of, because I have ownership of this church. Pastor Park, I'm not going to Berendo anymore. My father will speak to you now. I cannot go back there because of that pastor. I'm sorry. I'm angry. But you will speak to my father. And my truck is still parked in front of church, Pastor Park. That's my truck. My truck, Pastor Park. Please put it in the garage. Thank you, Pastor Park. I wanted to speak to you, but nobody will help me. Even the police. But it's a little different. I went to other churches, like Free Church LA and other so many other churches, Pastor Park. I mean, I'm gonna go speak to Pastor John MacArthur in Sunland, but I want to speak to you first, Pastor Park. Because I grew up in Berendo. And I learned everything I did from Berendo. And Pastor, my grandparents, Don and Esther Kim. You know how sad I was when I had to bury my grandma in my church with "If I Perish in My Hand," signed by Grandma. I'm like, Grandma, damn. And my other grandpa and other grandma who attended our church. I'm so sad, Pastor Park.